Good day, folks. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Trevor and I am your one-armed bandit in the bush. Today's episode I am going to be dedicating as an update to the volunteer work that I did out in Elk Mills, which is in Carter County in northeastern Tennessee, an area that really got badly ravaged by Hurricane Helene. This will be a combination of footage that I've taken with the camera from the road or at eye level, as well as some drone footage, which I will incorporate into this video, and I will talk through the catastrophe as I believe it unfolded, and I will give you some exposure just to how vast the damage was, and give you some insight into the type of work it is that we were doing over the close on 3 weeks, just over 2.5 weeks that I spent out in Elk Mills as a volunteer, and it was truly an amazing experience. But let's get on with it, and I'll talk you through it, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the experience as we go through the footage that I've captured for you. So stay dull, and I hope you enjoy. Firstly, I'd like to just draw your attention to the topography of the area that we were in. If you look there where Elk Mills is, where the general store is, right in the center of this, look at the terrain, absolute watershed feeding into it. And then, of course, the first morning, just after sunrise, it's time to get the drone up and take a look at what the immediate surroundings look like. So the next portion of this drone footage will be the immediate area surrounding where the Emergency Operations Center was established, and this was the site of the original, or at least the previous, Elk Mills Volunteer Fire Station. You will see that there's just a slab left. It's not in this image. You'll see it coming up a little later as I fly over it, and I'll point it out as we get there. So this would be looking straight back at the Emergency Operations Center, which would be that long trailer to the far left, which has what looks like grey striping down the center of it. That's just obviously because it's a slide out. And here, as I fly over, you will see where that slab is to the top right hand side. That is the location of where the fire station used to be. And here we go, straight over the Emergency Operations Center, and this is swinging back up to the location of where the temporary fire station is at the top center of your screen. You'll see it up there. But just look at the devastation of how this water, this tiny river, rose up to create such devastation. Just look at the landscape. And this is how I met three guys that turned into a wonderful relationship, and one that'll live and last with me, I think, through the rest of my days. So working clockwise from the left is Ryan, and these guys are all vets. Next to the right would be Billy or Bill, who is also a volunteer firefighter with the local fire department. And then to the immediate right would be Matt, who was a Navy corpsman, and our medic, who really performed miracles throughout the period that we were there. So there you go. You can just see just how bad it was. Boots on the ground. That's what it was all about. And here is some images of the volunteers who were helping out, who were working with us. This is a crew that had come up from Myrtle Beach. Here we go. There's Matt on the left, Ryan on the right. Two awesome guys. And boy, did we develop a wonderful relationship. Wherever we went, there was this effort to ensure that we flew the American flag as proudly as we could get it to possibly fly. Here's a look at our ablution facilities. The river right next to where we were staying in a toy hauler. Look at the logs, look at the damage, look at the carnage that this little nestling brook managed to dish up. This drone footage that I've taken here was just a little way up from where the temporary fire station is. And as the drone turns around the corner of the river, you'll be able to see just how much had been actually deposited in terms of debris that had been washed down. Now bear in mind, you will see it in the next portions of the video. I will show you how the bridges got washed away by what I call beaver dams that were built. And it was all this kind of debris that had actually piled up against the bridges, forming dams. And as the flash floods came through and the first bridge had been knocked down, this is what had unleashed on the second bridge and what was at the second bridge. Thank heavens for this forested area that was there, that I think in a way acted as a break for those logs as they were coming down, those trees as they were coming down. Otherwise, I fear that the carnage and the damage to the property, which you will see as I fly back with the drone down on the far end of the footage, would have been in real trouble. now on with the first day's work. It was out at the chainsaws and time to get across the river where the bridges had been knocked down. These bridges were constructed by locals using trailers and designs that they had come up with themselves. You would see rather ingenious the way this community had just come together to take care of their needs, and they just got it done. Look at that. There down the bottom you can see where the bridge used to be, and that is completely obliterated in the storm. And yeah, you can just take a look. These are the trailers. There were 3 trailers placed in the river, and then a bridge laid across the top of those to give access into and off of a place known as Bob's Island. Then came the part that I'd really been itching for. I couldn't wait to get the chainsaw out and get working. And yeah, we were helping a gentleman that lived up in the mountains, clearing away trees that had fallen across his driveway and or that were extremely dangerous in not allowing him to get in and out of his property without serious risk of injury or even a fatality. Look at the size of these trunks on the tree and you will understand exactly why.
That way a little bit.
As you can tell, this was the first effort, and rather anxious behind the wheel, but over she went. That was something that we crossed multiple times thereafter, and of course you get to a level of comfort where you no longer need a guide to show you how to get across that little bridge. However, it was tight. These images on Google Earth, you'll see right in the center there is a dam located right high up in the mountains. There was nearly about 1,000 feet in elevation change. And this is really where the problem began, when that dam wall got breached and then unleashed everything that was in it and below.
So, if you look at this video, this is where I think the highest dam burst. So this would have begun the whole flash flood experience as this dam wall burst, and it would have caused the surge of water that went down into the valley that really started the catastrophe. But we're up here now, the flag is flying. I do however want to show you something else, because this is supposed to be summer, well, maybe just early fall. However, we've had an early fall. Look at the snow on this house roof. So, not too much damage here, maybe one overlaying branch or so that we could cut away, but I'm going to keep going to the waypoint that we're going to inspect, where we've had rumors that people are trapped.
Below this dam was this bridge, and as you can see, the debris had built up against this bridge, forming what I refer to as a beaver dam. And you just take a look at the density of this and exactly what it is that is trapped in that bridge. With their understanding of what we saw that was laying further downstream. Here in another aerial shot, you will see where the water actually hit and just decimated what was standing in its pathway. You will see its beams had been pushed, and portions of the surface of the bridge had been thrown, I would guess somewhere in the region of about 270 odd to 300 plus yards down the river. From where I'd been standing and filming.
Yeah, this is what this river looks like when there ain't much water flowing in it. Look where I'm standing. That's the edge of the road. Yeah? And there is the bridge. So there's other parts of it, and this is what would have gone straight on down towards where the command station is and where the fire station was. But this is just unbelievable that such a small river under normal circumstances could rise up to create the destructive force that it actually did during Hurricane Helene.
So that would put all of this into perspective. If you can imagine, this would have been dammed up against that bridge, and it would have been hit by the force of, firstly, the mud dam up at the top of the mountain that went, which knocked out the previous bridge that we had looked at, followed by the second bridge, which would have had a lot of this debris dammed up against it, and the combined force of that just absolutely obliterated that bridge. Later that evening, we had received reports that there were people that had been trapped behind this mudslide, and we went out to see if we could get some supplies out to them, whilst not coming across anybody who needed our help that particular evening. The next day, there were numerous folk whom we had found that needed both supplies and or medical attention that we were fortunate in that we were able to assist. This is the view from Google Earth, and you can see the topography of the area that we were working in along Heaton Branch Road, and along and adjacent to that river is primarily where we were engaged. Here is a situation where we needed to perform an emergency medical procedure, which fortunately we had Matt with us, and he had the skills to assist in performing a very delicate procedure. After not having the correct equipment, still managing to take great strides in terms of helping this gentleman save his life. The next day, we went up to the cemetery that we had found. It had no flag, and there I got to witness a very beautiful moment as Ryan hoisted the United States flag, and I got to observe what this is truly about. This is about caring for your fellow man, and this is about patriotism for your flag. We then walked through the graveyard, putting flowers back, writing crosses that had fallen over, and just spending some time in the actual little chapel that was there, enjoying and absorbing this environment. But just listen to this silence. That night at dinner, Ryan came up with an idea: Operations Boots on the Ground. And this is something you will hear about as we seek to help in future disasters. Here's a nighttime view of our digs. There you go. There's the toy hauler. There's Pumba. Generators are going, and it's pretty late and it's pretty short, yeah, and we are still hard at work. And yeah, we have Ryan and Billy folding the national flag, which would be presented to the fire chief of the Elk Mills Volunteer Fire Department. This really was a very special moment for us as well.
Right. It's pretty close, but not quite, buddy. Do you think I should? So this is why people would choose East Tennessee over West Tennessee. The Appalachians in all its glory, and as you see it at the setting of the sun, as I pan around, the exquisite location where the first meeting of the volunteer fire organization of Elk Mills will be taking place this evening after the devastation of Hurricane Helene. So this is an absolute apt setting for such an occasion, and may it be momentous, and may all these firefighters return with new resolve and commitment to their community.
This is yours. I wish you all the best. I'll be here as long as I can to help you folks. I'm very proud of all of you folks and everything you've gone through. This isn't easy. And wish you all the best. If you ever need anything from me or any of my team, we will always be here for you.
And then it was back to work, clearing, cutting, and splitting wood. Yet another promise made and another promise kept. It was a great delight that we managed to get all of this cleared before we got orders to stand down, which eventually led to the end of our presence.